If you think your online business is failing because you haven't made money yet, you might be believing the exact lie that makes most people quit. Here's the truth. Online businesses rarely fail because they stopped working. They fail because someone gave up too soon. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you the biggest misconception about building an online business, why it quietly destroys motivation without you even realizing it, and how changing just one belief can completely change your chances of succeeding. And I can tell you that because I believed that lie too. I'm Roll, your guide to entrepreneurial clarity. When I first started learning about online business, I honestly thought I was just one strategy, one AI tool, or one viral video away from finally making it work. But the harder I chased shortcuts, the more frustrated I became. Nothing seemed to stick. I'd get excited about something new, throw myself into it, and a few weeks later, I'd be back at square one, wondering what went wrong. Everything changed when I stopped chasing quick wins and started learning how real businesses are actually built. Not through hacks, not through luck, but through systems, consistency, and patience. That's when everything finally clicked. And that's exactly why I created this channel, so you can avoid the mistakes I made and spend your time building something that actually lasts. So let's break this down together. There are 6 ideas I want to share with you. Each one builds on the last, and by the end of this video, you'll understand why the beginning feels painfully slow, why that's completely normal, and what successful business owners are quietly focused on while everyone else is chasing shortcuts. So, let's start with the biggest lie. The biggest lie about building an online business isn't that it's easy. Most people already know it takes work. The real lie is much more dangerous, because it sounds completely believable. It's this: if you're doing everything right, you should be seeing results by now. Think about what fills your feed every day. Someone launches a business. A few weeks later, they're celebrating their first 5-figure month. Another creator announces they quit their job. Someone else flashes screenshots of huge revenue numbers with a caption like, "This changed my life." At first, it's inspiring, but here's the part almost nobody talks about. What's missing? You don't see the months, sometimes years, that came before those wins. You don't see the offers that failed, the videos nobody watched, the emails nobody opened, the nights they seriously questioned whether they should just quit. Social media has a funny way of taking years of invisible work and squeezing it into a 30-second success story. And after seeing enough of those stories, it's easy to believe you're falling behind. Maybe you've caught yourself thinking, "I've been doing this for months. Why does it feel like nothing's happening?" If that's where you are, I want you to hear this. Slow doesn't mean broken, it means you are just early. More often than not, it simply means you're early. Your business is growing long before your bank account proves it. And that's something almost nobody tells beginners. Our brains naturally compare what we see with where we are today. So when all you see are other people's highlight reels, it's easy to assume you're the only one struggling. But you're not. You're simply looking at the middle of someone else's story while you're still writing your first chapter. And here's where the real danger begins. The moment someone believes they're failing, they start making decisions that actually cause them to fail. They stop publishing. They abandon the business. They jump into another opportunity. They convince themselves, maybe this just isn't for me. But here's the irony. The biggest mistake usually isn't starting the wrong business. It's quitting the right one too early. And once you understand that, the next question becomes obvious. So why do smart, hardworking people still quit? Let's talk about that right now. Now here's the surprising part. The people who quit aren't usually the ones who lack talent. Most of them are smart. They're curious. They're willing to learn. They're watching tutorials, reading books, testing ideas, trying different strategies. They're doing what everyone tells them to do. So why do they still walk away? Because they expected the journey to look different. They expected hard work to produce visible results almost immediately. And when those results didn't show up, they didn't question their expectations. They questioned themselves. Maybe I'm just not cut out for this. Maybe I picked the wrong niche. Maybe everyone else knows something I don't. Or the one that catches almost everyone. Maybe I just need a better strategy. Sound familiar? If it does, you're not alone. It's probably one of the most common thoughts every entrepreneur has at some point. But here's the problem. Instead of improving what they've already started, they hit the reset button. They switch business models. They chase another AI tool. They buy another course. They jump into the next opportunity that promises faster results. And every time they do, they're starting from zero again. Imagine planting a seed today, then digging it up next week because it hasn't become a tree yet. So you plant another one, then another, then another. Years go by, but nothing ever grows. Not because the seeds were bad, but because none of them were given enough time. That's exactly how many online businesses fail. Not because the idea was terrible, not because the owner wasn't capable, but because they walked away just before the work had a chance to pay off. Here's something I've learned. People don't quit because they're incapable. They quit because they expected success to arrive before their systems were ready. And once you understand that, you stop asking, how do I get results faster? And you start asking, how do I build something that keeps getting stronger? Because that's where the real game begins. And it all comes down to one word: compounding. To be honest, this might be the most misunderstood idea in online business. Most people think growth is supposed to look like a straight line. You work today, you see results tomorrow. You work harder next week, you make more money next week. Sounds logical, doesn't it? The problem is, that's almost never how it works. Real growth is invisible, long before it becomes obvious. Think about learning to drive. Remember your first few lessons? Everything felt awkward. You were thinking about every pedal, every mirror, every turn. Then one day, you got in the car and just drove. You didn't even think about it. The improvement didn't happen overnight. It happened gradually, until one day it became obvious. Building an online business works the same way. Every video teaches you something. Every email teaches you something. Every conversation with your audience teaches you something. Even your mistakes are teaching you something. At the time, it doesn't feel like progress, because you're measuring money instead of growth. But here's what's actually happening. Your skills are improving. Your confidence is growing. You're understanding your audience better. Your content is getting stronger. Your systems are becoming more efficient. None of those things may show up in your income today, but they're becoming the reason your income grows tomorrow. That's what compounding really is. Small improvements, repeated consistently for long enough. That's why successful businesses often look like they exploded overnight. From the outside, it looks like magic. Inside the business, it's hundreds of tiny improvements stacking on top of each other until people can't ignore them anymore. Nobody sees the quiet years. They only notice the breakthrough. And maybe that's why so many people think success happened overnight. It didn't. It was simply invisible until it wasn't. Now you might be wondering, if that's true, where does AI fit into all of this? That's a great question, because AI has changed the way we work. But it hasn't changed the rules of building a real business, and that's where we're going next.
Fourth, let's talk about AI. There's no denying it. AI has completely changed the way we build online businesses. Today, you can write content in minutes, generate ideas almost instantly, edit videos faster, create graphics, analyze data, automate repetitive work. Things that used to take hours, sometimes days, can now be done before you finished your morning coffee. That's incredible. And honestly, it's one of the biggest opportunities entrepreneurs have ever had. But here's where a lot of people get it wrong. They start believing AI is the business. It isn't. It's just a tool. A very powerful one, but still just a tool. Think about it like this. Imagine giving two people access to exactly the same AI software. The first person has a clear audience, a clear offer, a repeatable system. They know exactly who they're helping and why. The second person spends every week chasing whatever tool is trending on YouTube. Who do you think builds the better business? It won't be the person with the better prompts. It'll be the person with the better systems. Because here's what AI can't do. It can't earn trust. It can't build your reputation. It can't understand your audience the way years of experience can. It can't replace the confidence you gain from solving real problems for real people. Those things still have to be earned. One customer, one conversation, one piece of content at a time. And to be honest, I think that's good news. Because it means people who genuinely care about helping others will always have an advantage over people chasing the next shortcut. So instead of asking, what's the newest AI tool? Try asking yourself something different. How can AI make my current system better? That one question changes everything. Because the goal isn't to build an AI business. The goal is to build a real business that uses AI wisely. And once you understand that, something else changes too. You stop obsessing over numbers that don't really tell the whole story, which brings us to the fifth idea. One of the fastest ways to lose motivation is to measure the wrong things. Most beginners check the same numbers every day: views, subscribers, revenue, likes. And when those numbers don't move, they immediately think, I'm failing. But here's the thing, those numbers are outcomes. They're the result of work you've already done. Sometimes weeks ago, sometimes months ago. They're like looking in the rearview mirror. Useful? Absolutely. But not the best way to decide what to do today. Instead, start measuring the things you can actually control. Did I publish consistently this week? Did I improve my thumbnail? Did my storytelling get better? Did I learn something new about my audience? Did I make my business system even 1% better? Those are the questions that actually matter, because every one of those improvements becomes part of something much bigger. Think about a professional athlete. They don't finish one training session and expect to win a championship. They focus on getting a little stronger, a little faster,
a little more consistent, day after day. Business works exactly the same way. Momentum isn't something you create overnight. It's something you earn, one improvement at a time. Here's a sentence I want you to remember. Revenue is delayed. Growth isn't. Your business is becoming stronger every time your skills improve, every time your systems improve, every time you understand your audience a little better. You just don't always see it immediately in your bank account. So instead of asking, why haven't I made more money? Ask yourself, am I building a better business than I was building last month? If the answer is yes, you're making progress, even if the numbers haven't caught up yet. And that leads us to the final question. If all of this is true, why do some people eventually succeed while others quietly disappear? Let's finish with that. Finally, Let's answer the question that really matters. If building an online business is this difficult, why do some people actually make it? Is it luck? A secret strategy? The perfect AI tool? Sometimes those things help, but they're almost never the real reason. The real reason is much simpler. They stayed in the game. While everyone else kept starting over, they kept improving. While other people chased the newest trend, they made their existing system a little better. While everyone else compared themselves to someone else's success, they compared themselves to who they were last month. And that changes everything. Because consistency isn't exciting. Nobody celebrates your 50th video. Nobody applauds another week of quietly improving your offer. Nobody notices the hundreds of small decisions that slowly make your business stronger. But those are the decisions that matter most. Every piece of content teaches you something. Every conversation teaches you something. Every mistake teaches you something. Every improvement makes the next improvement easier. That's how momentum is built, not through one massive breakthrough, but through hundreds of small wins stacked on top of each other. Then one day, people on the outside say, "Wow, you grew so fast." But you know the truth. It wasn't fast. It was consistent. And consistency, given enough time, becomes momentum. So if you're building an online business right now, here's exactly what I'd focus on. First, don't rush to quit your job. There's nothing wrong with building your business while keeping a steady income. In fact, it can be one of the smartest decisions you make. Because when every bill depends on instant success, fear starts making your decisions. A steady income gives your business something incredibly valuable: time. Time to improve. Time to learn. Time to build something that lasts. Second, build one system before chasing another opportunity. The internet will always tell you there's a better niche, a better platform. Maybe there is. But constantly chasing the next thing usually keeps you from mastering the thing you're already building. Instead, ask yourself, what's one part of my system I can improve this week? That's where real progress lives. Third, keep showing up, even when it feels like nobody's watching, even when the views are low, even when you wonder if it's worth it. Because every piece of content is doing two jobs. It's helping your audience, and it's helping you become better. Your early videos aren't failures. They're practice, and practice compounds. Fourth, review your progress every week. Not to criticize yourself, to learn. Ask yourself simple questions. What worked? What didn't? What confused people? What can I improve next week? You don't need massive breakthroughs every 7 days. You just need one small improvement, then another, then another. And finally, stop comparing your beginning to someone else's breakthrough. This one is actually really hard, because social media makes it feel like everyone else is winning except you. But remember, you're comparing your everyday reality to someone else's highlight reel. That's never going to be a fair comparison. The only comparison that actually matters is this. Am I building a better business than I was building a month ago? If the answer is yes, keep going, because that's exactly how businesses that last are built. Let's go back to where we started. At the beginning of this video, I told you there was one lie that causes more people to quit than almost anything else. Now you know what it is. The biggest lie isn't that building an online business is easy. The biggest lie is believing that if you can't see results yet, nothing is happening. But that's not how real businesses grow. Long before revenue increases, your skills improve, your confidence grows, your systems become stronger, your understanding of your audience gets deeper. You're becoming the kind of person who can actually build and run a successful business. Most of that work is invisible, at least in the beginning. And maybe that's why so many people quit. They mistake invisible progress for no progress. So if you remember just one thing from this video, remember this. The biggest mistake isn't starting the wrong business. It's quitting the right one before your systems have had time to compound. Stay with the work, keep improving. Let every week make your business a little stronger than the week before. Because success usually doesn't arrive all at once. It arrives quietly, after hundreds of small decisions that most people never see. If this video helped you see online business differently, I'd love to have you here. Subscribe to the channel. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you in the next one.